Bonjour, bonjour. Yes, we are going to do some revision of the subjunctive. This is the subjunctive revision bonanza. Have I sold it to you? But seriously, yes, the subjunctive is a little bit confusing and you're not quite sure when to use it, but if you can spend a little bit of time with it, it will really upgrade your French. You can understand it, but if you can learn how to use it, brilliant French. Okay, let's go. Allons-y. The indicative mood is used for stating concrete facts, for asking questions, and to express opinions you think are true. So the indicative could be the present tense, could be the past tense, could be the future tense. The indicative is what you believe to be true. The imperative mood is used for giving commands, orders, making suggestions and giving advice. It's our sergeant major mood. And the subjunctive mood is used for expressing hypothetical situations, like wishes, desires, fears, doubts, conjecture, opinions, obligations and emotions. It's very subjective. It's used when the subject of the main clause is not the same as the subject of the dependent clause. There are exceptions, but this is usually what happens. For example, here we have just one subject, so there's no subjunctive. Elle veut dîner plus tôt. She wants to eat dinner earlier. Just one subject, elle. Two subjects. Elle veut que nous dînions plus tôt. She wants us. Two subjects. She wants that we eat dinner earlier. Again, one subject. J'ai peur de ne pas avoir assez de temps. Meaning, I'm scared, I'm afraid not to have enough time. So you'll often find when there's one subject, there'll be a little de in there. And anyway, if you have either a noun or an adjective followed by an infinitive, you will have a de in French in between them. It doesn't mean anything in English. Ils sont tristes de partir. One subject, meaning they're sad to leave. Two subjects. Il a peur que tu ne reviennes plus jamais. Okay, so il a peur que, then the dependent clause has to be in the subjunctive. Tu ne reviennes plus jamais. He's scared that you'll never come back. Tu es triste qu'il parte? Okay, two subjects, tu and il. Are you sad that he's leaving? Okay. The subjunctive mood for regular nerdy verbs is formed by taking the third person plural. The il, elle, they stem from the present tense, the present indicative. You remove the ent ending and then you add the special subjunctive endings, which are e, ese, ions, iez, then you put back that ent. So let's look at ER verb, regular ER verb, parler. Il faut que je parle à Julien. Il faut que tu parles à Julien. Il faut qu'il ou qu'elle ou qu'on parle à Julien. Il faut que nous parlions à Julien. Il faut que vous parliez à Julien. Il faut qu'il ou qu'elle parle à Julien. So again we have this two subjects. Here, if we compare the indicative of parler with the subjunctive, they're actually very similar. They're the same, in fact, except for nous and vous, where we stick in an extra I. And this is good news because most verbs are ER verbs, so that's brilliant. But then, of course, we have a much smaller group of regular nerdy IR verbs. Let's look at finir in the indicative, the present indicative. Je finis, ending in IS. Tu finis, IS. Ils, elles ont fini, IT. Nous finissons, So you start the issing around with the regular IR verbs. Vous finissez, ils, elles finissent. We have to take the stem, the il, elle, they stem, for the subjunctive. So now it becomes que je finisse, que tu finisses, qu'il, qu'elle, qu'on finisse, que nous finissions, que vous finissiez, qu'il, qu'elle finisse. So the third person plural is the same in the indicative and the subjunctive. Then our regular nerdy RE verbs. Let's look at vendre in the present indicative. Je vends ending in S, tu vends ending in S, il, elle en vend. No addition. Nous vendons, vous vendez, il, elle vendent. We need that il, elle stem to create the subjunctive. Que je vende, que tu vendes, qu'il ou qu'elle ou qu'on vende, que nous vendions, que vous vendiez, qu'il ou qu'elle vende. Then we have a whole host of irregular verbs, the quirky verbs. The downside is that you need to know the third person plural conjugation to give you the right stem. However, as I always say, if you get it wrong, it really doesn't matter. Going over the subjunctive means you'll be able to understand more French, which is, after all, one of the biggest hurdles. Sometimes you'll clear the hurdles. Sometimes you'll kick them over and end up flat on your face, but at least you will have tried. Pick yourself up, dust yourself down, and hold your head up high, and better still, just learn to laugh at yourself and keep trying. And then we have some doubly quirky verbs, where for the je, the tu, the il, elle, on, and the il, elle, they conjugations, you do the normal thing. You take the il, elle, they conjugation as your stem. Oh, but these guys, for the nous and vous subjunctive, say, we want to keep our own stems from the indicative, thank you very much. And they take their stem from the nous and vous present indicative. Ah! Here we go, venir. So it's viennent, viennent, viennent. Ah, the nous and vous. Venions, veniez, viennent. Tiennent, tiennent, tiennent. Tenions, teniez, tiennent. Prennent, prennent, prennent. Prenions, preniez, prennent. Devoir, doivent, doivent, doivent. Devions, deviez, doivent. Voir, voix, voix, voix. Voyons with a Y, voyez with a Y, voix. Croire, croix, croix, croix. Croyons, croyez, croix. Boire, boivent, boivent, boivent. Buvions, buviez, boivent. And then finally we have the super irregular, surreal looking verbs, tend to be the gangster verbs that just do their own thing. Many of these fall into our essential bread and water verbs, i.e. the most commonly used verbs in the French language, which therefore mean they just need to be learnt off by heart, par cœur. Avoir, et, ayant, ayez, et. Être, soit, 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 soyons, soyez, soit. Pouvoir, puisse, 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 puissions, puissiez, puisse. Savoir, sache, 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 sachions, sachiez, sache. Faire, face, 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 fassions, fassiez, face. Aller, aïe, aïe, aïe. Allions, alliez, aïe. Vouloir, veuille, veuille, veuille. Voulions, vouliez, veuille. So now we need to know when to use the subjunctive. What are the triggers that mean you have to use the subjunctive? Let's start with wants and desires. Here we have somebody making a birthday wish. So to want that. Vouloir que brings up the subjunctive. To desire that. Tell me what they are. Désirer que. To prefer that. Préférer que. To wish that. Souhaiter que. Then we have emotions. We're going to be using adjectives. So you have être, your part of être, conjugated, plus your adjective. brings up the subjunctive. To be sad that. Être triste que, ou malheureux, malheureuse que. To be happy that. Être content ou contente que. Être heureux or heureuse que. To be delighted that. We've got our Turkish delight. Être ravi que. To be amazed, surprised that. Être étonné que. You can use surpris or surprise que, but étonné is used a lot in spoken French. To be moved that. We have our Australian big bird there. Very emotional. Emu. Être ému que. To be sorry that. Être désolé que. To be furious that. Être furieux or furieuse que. To be worried that. Être inquiet ou inquiète que. To be thrilled, delighted that. That's an enchanted castle. Être enchanté que. To be disappointed that. Être déçu que. Déçu is past participle of décevoir, which does not mean to deceive. It's a false friend. It means to disappoint. And it's just like recevoir, past participle is reçu. Décevoir, past participle is déçu. Many past participles are used as adjectives, just as they are in English. To be shocked that. Être choqué que. To be proud that. Être fier que. To be embarrassed that. Être gêné que. Again, you can say embarrassé. Gêné is used a lot more. Might as well use the useful words. Then we have a lovely group of avoir expressions that in English tend to be translated with to be, but the French use to have plus a noun. And when we're talking about two subjects, these will be bringing up the subjunctive. To be afraid, scared that. Avoir peur que. To need, the French would say to have need of. Avoir besoin que. To want, to feel like. This is a funny one. It feels really awkward in English. When you want and you feel like something, you are a little bit envious. Envy just means you want something. This is very used. Avoir envie que. Really worth knowing that one. To look forward to. Can't wait. Here we have somebody wearing a big hat. Avoir hâte que. And remember that circumflex accent that looks like a Chinese hat and chapeau chinois means, did you know in the old French there used to be an S after this letter? So now you can see the word haste. To be ashamed that, here we have Adam and Eve. Avoir honte que. To be lucky that. They say to have some luck. Avoir de la chance que. To be used to. The nun in a habit. Avoir l'habitude que. To have the habit that. Then we have our touchy-feely verbs, the emotional verbs, and our doubting Thomas verbs. To like that. Aimer que. To love that. They would say to adore that. Adorer que. To hate that. Détester que. To regret that. Regretter que. To fear that. It's the cranky fear. It's on a crank. Craindre que. To be surprised. Wonder that. This is a pronominal verb. s'étonner que. To stand, to bear that. I can't stand it. I can't stand that something happens, that someone does this. Supporter que. To appreciate that. Apprécier que. To refuse that. Non, 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 non. Refuser que. To accept that. It's kind of French we like, isn't it? Accepter que. To doubt or to suspect. Douter que. However, if you don't doubt, the uncertainty is gone. So when you use a douter que in the negative, you do not use the subjunctive, you use the indicative. Penser que, and often in French, they like to use to believe instead of to think. Here we have, and pigs might fly. I'll believe it when pigs might fly. Croire que. To hope that. Espérer que. Now these three are a little funny because these verbs trigger the subjunctive in the negative. Okay, here we have our Mr. Subjunctive Philosopher. So we can use him, the subjunctive, with the negative. We've got thumbs down for negative. And the interrogative. Here we have the policeman interrogating with questions. So you do use the subjunctive with the negative and asking questions, the interrogative. But not in the affirmative. So here we have a thumbs up with a big cross. So now you use the indicative because the uncertainty is gone. And then we have our really impersonal, aloof, rather snooty verbs that use il, where il does not mean he, but refers to more of an abstract concept, an it. And actually in spoken French, c'est, C''est, is often used instead. So it's necessary that, you cannot use c'est for this one, but this is very, very, very used in everyday French. Il faut que. The rest you can use c'est with. If we have an être there, it is necessary that. We have the shirt. Necessary, spelt with one C, one collar, two sleeves. Il est nécessaire que. Spoken French. C'est nécessaire que. It's important that. Il est important que. C'est important que. It's preferable that. Il est préférable que. C'est préférable que. It's urgent that. Same word, French accent. Il est urgent que. C'est urgent que. It's good that. Il est bon que. C'est bon que. It's regrettable that. Okay, ABLE words tend to be the same. Il est regrettable que. C'est regrettable que. It's essential that. So AL words often end in AL in French, but there are a group that change to EL, and this is one of them. Il est essentiel que. C'est essentiel que. It is indispensable that. IBLE words tend to be the same, but indispensable becomes able, just like responsible becomes responsable. Il est indispensable que. C'est indispensable que. It's possible that. Got the stepping stones to make it possible to cross the stream or the river. Il est possible que. C'est possible que. It's impossible that. We have this impossible puzzle. Il est impossible que. C'est impossible que. It's rare that. Il est rare que. C'est rare que. Here we have another one that means more or less it's possible, but they use pouvoir. So you've got to conjugate the il with pouvoir. It may be that, and it's pronominal. Il se peut que. Now there's no part of être here, so you can't use c'est. It seems that. Il semble que. Again, you cannot use c'est because there's no être there. C'est is only used instead of il est. So in the following examples, again, only the negative and the interrogative. We've got the down thumb for negative and our policeman there for the interrogative, asking questions. Only those will trigger the subjunctive. The affirmative, the uncertainty is gone. So the subjunctive don't have no place there. It's not probable that. Il n'est pas probable que. Or ce n'est pas probable que. It's not sure that. This is my Irish fella. To be sure, to be sure. Il n'est pas sûr que. Ce n'est pas sûr que. It's not certain that. Il n'est pas certain que. Ce n'est pas certain que. It's time that, more impersonal ones. Il est temps que. C'est temps que. Now here we have lots of different adjectives. It's strange, that bizarre, that amazing, that surprising, that natural. That's another one that becomes EL in French. Normal, that's AL, normal that. Il est aussi étrange, bizarre, étonnant, surprenant, naturel, normal que. They all bring up the subjunctive. It happens that sometimes, that funny verb for to happen, il arrive que. There's no être here, so we don't use the c'est. Instead, we can here use ça in spoken French. Ça arrive que. It's better that. So here we're conjugating il with valoir and saying the word better. Think of it as saying it's worthwhile. Il vaut mieux que. Ça vaut mieux que. Worth learning. Ça vaut la peine. It's worth the trouble. It's worth the pain. More impersonal, aloof, negative, know-it-all verbs. It's no use that. It's useless to. Il ne sert à rien que. Or spoken French, ça ne sert à rien que. There's no way, under no circumstances, on no account. We've got a big question mark there. Il n'est pas question que. Don't bother, don't trouble yourself with. There's no point. Okay, one of the words for pain and bother. Ce n'est pas la peine que. Very used. It's not worth the trouble. It's not worth. Ça ne vaut pas la peine. And then we have the conjunctions that bring up the subjunctive. In order that, so that, two options here. Okay, you got the little fin there. Afin que. That's quite fancy. Spoken French, you probably hear more pour que. We have our teapot pouring the tea. So that. They say in a way that, in a manner that. De façon que, or de manière, manner, de manière que. Some of these conjunctions do a funny little thing. They have a little negative ne after. Not that anyone bothers in the spoken language, but you may wonder what they're doing there if you read a book. They're called expletive ne, meaning they mean nothing. Why they're there, I don't know. It's a bit of a filler-in word. So if you see the little negative sandwich, it's an expletive ne. For fear that, look, there's one of those expletive ne sandwich. It doesn't mean swearing, by the way. It just means like superfluous. De crainte que, got the crank. De peur que, despite, although, even though. He's slapping his forehead, causing himself pain. Mal, malgré que. Or we've got bien, bien que. Bien que has one of those expletive ness, meaning nothing. On the condition that. À condition que, it's more like it. Provided that, as long as. You've got the pour and the vu. Pourvu que. Pourvu que. Unless. À moins que. And there's one of our expletive ness. À moins que. Before. We have the avant-garde here. Avant que. Expletive ne. Until, which is while waiting that. The gerund Depardieu, the gerund. En attendant que. Until. Jusqu'à ce que. There's a funny group of little verbs, and here we have a conjunction doing this. Instead of que, it's à ce que. I don't know why. I'm sorry. There are not many. Without. Sans que. Here you do have an expletive ne, but only if what follows it is negative, not in the affirmative. Not that. Pas que. Or sometimes for extra emphasis you can say no at the beginning. Non pas que. Here are this weird little group that add on à ce que instead of just que. So we've already seen jusqu'à ce que. That one's worth learning. To expect to, which is pronominal. If you are an expectant mother, you are waiting for a baby. S'attendre à ce que. To make up one's mind to decide to. Also pronominal. Se décider à ce que. To get used to. Also pronominal. S'habituer à ce que. To insist on, because you hold whatever it is you want to happen dear. Hold. Tenir à ce que. To ensure that. This is a funny one. Got somebody surveying the area with their eyes. Veiller, which is where we get surveillance from, isn't it? Veiller à ce que. Indefinite conjunctions. Whatever. No matter what. We've got our ducky. Quack. Wherever. Monkey, monkey. Ou que. Regardless of. So which or what when we're talking about nouns? Quelque. Whoever, whomever, anyone? Qui que. Then we can use the subjunctive with a superlative if we want to give an air of uncertainty. The superlative shows the highest and the lowest degrees of quality. In French, you form the superlative using le plus plus your adjective, la plus plus your adjective, les plus plus your adjective. In English, if it's a long adjective, we have to say the most expensive, for example. If you have a short adjective, the, for example, shortest. If it's short, we add on est. We don't say the most shortest. Then for the least, in French, le moins plus your adjective, la moins plus your adjective, les moins plus your adjective. And in English, we just say the least plus the adjective. If you are saying the most beautiful, le plus beau, la plus belle, les plus beaux, les plus belles. Or the least, le moins beau, la moins belle, les moins beaux, les moins belles. The subjunctive is also triggered with adjectives that act like a superlative. The only, you would add on your noun. Le seul, la seule, les seuls, or instead you could say l'unique, les uniques. The first plus noun. Le premier, la première, or les premiers, les premières. Que. The last plus noun. Le dernier, la dernière, les derniers, les dernières. Of course, you need your que on. Then we have some miscellaneous triggers for the subjunctive. Miscellaneous, we have some miscellaneous Lego there. How come? Polite version. Comment se fait-il que? Spoken version, more informal. Comment ça se fait que? Very common. To understand that. Comprendre que. To agree to something. Be okay with something. When you're in agreement, in French, say d'accord. Okay, d'accord. Got Shakespeare. Être d'accord pour, pouring the tea. Être d'accord pour que. The idea that. L'idée que. To hope is espérer. As we know, you can only use it with the subjunctive in the negative or questions. But there's another way of saying here's hoping. Okay? You've got your pour and your vu there. Pourvu que. So it's another way of saying here's hoping, brings up the subjunctive. Here's hoping it doesn't rain. Pourvu qu'il ne pleuve pas. Then you can have que by itself and then the subjunctive, meaning whether. Whether it rains or it's windy, we're going out for a walk. Qu'il pleuve ou qu'il vente, nous sortons nous promener. The relative pronouns qui and que and dont and ou do not trigger the subjunctive unless there's uncertainty, a question or a negation. Usual story. J'ai un ami qui sait bien parler espagnol. That's a fact. We use the indicative. Qui sait bien. Je cherche quelqu'un qui sache parler espagnol. Okay, there's uncertainty there. I'm looking for someone. Tu connais quelqu'un qui connaisse la route? Question. Brings up the subjunctive. And negation. Je ne connais personne qui puisse t'aider. Sometimes the third person singular, the il, elle, and the third person plural, the il, elle, they conjugations can be used as an imperative to express a wish or a desire. It can sound a little bit pompous. For example, may he live forever, that she, let them. Okay? Qu'il revienne vite, that he come back quickly. And then the plural, may they, that they, let them. Qu'ils partent tout de suite, that they leave straight away. It's very royal sounding language, isn't it? Vive le roi! Long live the king! Vive la reine! Long live the queen! Vive la France! Long live France! And finally we have the past subjunctive, where all you have to do is put the auxiliary verbs avoir and être into the subjunctive and add on your normal past participles. So let's look at avoir parlé, to have spoken. So j'ai parlé, but you've got an extra e on j'ai. It's a subjunctive j'ai. Tu es parlé. Il, elle, on est parlé. Nous ayons parlé. Vous ayez parlé. Ils, elles aient parlé. And then with our VIP verbs, we have to put être into the subjunctive plus the past participle. For example, être venu, to have come. Je sois venu, que tu sois venu, qu'il ou quel ou qu'on soit venu, que nous soyons venus, que vous soyez venus, qu'il ou quel soit venu. And of course, we have our wannabe VIP verbs, the pronominal verbs. So now we have to put in the reflexive pronoun before être. For example, s'être levé, to have woken oneself up. Que je me sois levé, que tu te sois levé, qu'il ou quel ou qu'on se soit levé, que nous nous soyons levés, que vous vous soyez levés, ou qu'il ou quel se soit lever. Et voilà, les amis, bravo! The subjunctive has been done! Wow! Youpi! Bravo! Merci beaucoup! À la prochaine fois!